From an early age, I have enjoyed books. When I was little, my mom would read me children's books such as The Berenstain Bears, Frog and Toad, and my all time favorite, The Kissing Hand. Sometimes she would plug my name into the dialogue of the characters, which at the time I found genuinely hilarious. I loved the magical illustrations in children's books just as much as I loved the stories themselves. As soon as I could write my own name, my mom took me to the library to get a library card. It was the first time I managed to not write every single letter of my name backwards. She would take me to the library where I enjoyed exploring the kids' books on the first floor and admiring the thick leather bound books on the second floor. As I began to read more independently in elementary school, I became a fan of the Junie B. Jones novels. As many others have, I felt I could relate to the simple trials and tribulations experienced and sassily narrated by Junie B. I also grew to love Geronimo Stilton books, which used cleverly illustrated text. For example, the word frozen would be written in icy block letters with icicles hanging down, which appealed strongly to my artistic sensibilities. As I entered middle school, reading began to feel more obligatory. Although our school had a wonderful media center specialist, and I enjoyed our class trips to check out books, I just did not feel motivated to read in my free time. When it came to class reading, I would dread reading the required nightly chapter. As I finished reading a page, I would eagerly count how many pages I had left to read in the chapter. Oftentimes, I was reading the words but not paying attention to the actual story or meaning. I remember this distinctly in my 6th grade English class when reading The True Confessions of Charlotte Doyle and The Westing Game. Because reading was not something that came difficult for me, I managed to fly under the radar in my English classes, but I was not a motivated reader during the time. It was not until high school that I felt interested in reading again. During my sophomore year of high school, I had the best English teacher I have ever had. Her enthusiasm for literature made me feel excited to read ahead in our required reading books, unlike before. She made a book like Great Expectations, which could have easily seemed dry, truly interesting with her lessons. Her relaxed and sometimes humorous approach to teaching literature made the subject feel less daunting and more exciting. When I read The Book Thief and Their Eyes Were Watching God in 11th grade, I felt as though I was seeing literature as art for the first time. These novels were so moving and enhanced my appreciation for an author's ability to tell a story. Sometimes after we finished a book, this teacher would show the movie during class. This gave the class something to look forward to, and it was fun to have conversations comparing the book and the movie. Since beginning college, I have had less time for non-required reading. As I have pursued my degree in art education, I still look back and appreciate the illustrations in children's books and will always remain particularly fond of them. I learned early on that reading could be entertaining and relatable. Whether it is The Kissing Hand or Charles Dickens, I have found enjoyment in both.